You guys have voted and I have listened, and so it seems fair enough that any move away from Elgin for me should be to a club of at least English League One status. And that means that as we enter June in this brand new Season 5, the only club that has shown any interest in me so far will need to be rejected. But does that bother me? Not really, as I felt it might have been a backward step. Let's go and kick some balls. Hello and welcome back to The Road to Glory, Part 37, Season 5, here at Elgin City. And yes, we are still here, and I am shrouded by a little bit of anxiety as I feel I may be getting stuck here at this semi-professional team, and I want to move on, I think, and while the board here are refusing to go professional, I think I'm being prevented from moving on. But the only team that has actually shown any interest in me is Northampton, who have just been relegated from League 1 to League 2. And though they should get promoted back to League 1 this season, nothing ever is that simple. And I think that might be a backward step for me at this time. But I have many applications out there, and my anxiety is beginning to show with the number of applications that I do have out there. And we have applied for jobs at Torino, Schalke, Bochum in the Bundesliga, Hull in the Sky Bet Championship, and similarly Plymouth of the Sky Bet Championship, Nottingham Forest of the Premier League, and Livingston of the Premiership in Scotland. And so maybe something will happen with one of those. But we do have a problem to deal with here at Elgin, because at the moment we only have a squad of 18 players. With all the contracts that ended, and there were 12 of them, that has left us very, very short in terms of the squad. And we do have 2 players in Finn Allen and Ross Mackay who are just youngsters. So really the squad consists of 17 players, and we really therefore have a need to get a lot of players in. And we do need desperately help up top, and Martinazzi has rejected our loan offer. We have also lost Blair McKenzie, who was a central defender, very good player. We somehow couldn't afford to renew his loan, and I'm not quite sure why, because we have a ton of money available, but for some reason, and I couldn't work it out, we could not renew his loan. And then of course we have lost Whittaker, who was a very good central midfielder. He was already sold and has gone to Dundee, and so we do have a lot of problems as we go into this transfer window. We have got a couple of things on the table, and we've got loan offers for Matthew Kernan, who is a fullback or central defender. He's described as a central defender. He's only 5'11", but he has a lot of pace. And so we may have to adjust the tactic a little bit if we do choose to play him as a centre-back. And then we have put in an offer for Benny Baningme, who is a central midfielder, a ball-winning midfielder, and it's certainly something we could do with, because we didn't seem to be winning a lot of second balls in midfield, and that's something that I really wanted to address this summer. So maybe he will be coming in on a free, and I'm hopeful that he will look at the contract and say that's fine. He is very interested in coming to the club, and that will strengthen us a little bit in midfield and provide a much-needed body in the squad. And so while we are waiting for any possible job offers and to see what happens in the pipeline there, we do have a lot of work to do in order to get Elgin ready for the new upcoming season, Season 5. I'm going to go through the transfer window, and I will come back should there be any big news. If not, I will see you for the first game of that pre-season Scottish League Cup, where we will play in a group of 4 and hopefully put on a good performance again as we attempt this time to get out of the group. And here we are on the 10th of June, and we have just received news that we have a job offer with Hull City. Now, I'm not sure. It says they are in the Championship, but they finished in 22nd place, and I'm not sure if that means that they were relegated to League 1. But we'll go and find out, and we'll go to the job interview. So let's turn up and see what they're about. I'm glad I got the chance to talk to you. I'm obviously very delighted You've so far only managed one team throughout. Is this a good or a bad thing? I don't think there's much loyalty left, and that shows how loyal I am. What are you thinking of making a sideways move in management? There's not much difference between the two teams. You've developed a reputation of applying for other jobs while still employed. What's that all about? I feel it's acceptable when you consider how long I've been in management. Can you explain why you appear to be in the running for a few jobs right now? I'm just trying to forge ahead. Is it fair to say you haven't done a great job with the media? I haven't received any complaints. Our previous manager didn't enjoy the best relationship. All these questions are always the same, and I've no reason to dispute the fact I will have a good relationship. Can you assure that I have no problem secure the backing of your players? I am certain that I will get the backing of them. Morale is what I do. How do you feel about? Yeah, I'm more than happy to work with them. We'll go back on that later. What sort of budget are you anticipating for the backroom staff? Just a small budget. Do you have any thoughts on the club's long-term vision? Sign players based in Turkey, sign Turkish players, play entertaining football. The rest of it, sign Turkish players, repair the club's financial damage. Isn't that your job? And continue to challenge for EFL Championship playoff place. What for the end of next season? Work towards repairing. For the end, work towards reaching the Championship playoff. So they obviously are still in the Championship. That's all fairly acceptable. We have no expectation for the current season. Everybody you hired. That's fine. What's next? Do you have any questions? Not that I can think of. Let's leave the meeting. And we have a little message here. Pound linked with Hull City following interview, and a question from the press. Do you have anything to say in public about your recent interview? We'll look at the likes of and think that could be me one day. No, I don't think so. I'm merely weighing up my options, pretty much is what I want to say to the press. So we've been to an interview. We don't know how it's going to turn out. You never know. I'm not very good at these interviews, so we'll see how it goes. And in terms of the transfer market, we have just brought in one player, Benny Baningme. He's a ball-winning central midfielder, and he is the only one we've brought in at this point in time. And if we look at, we do have a number of offers out there. Jake Eastwood, who is a goalkeeper, we have an offer for him out there. And also Matthew Shields, who is a left back, can play as a left back. We want to try and get him in. We've also got offers out there for some strikers, Alfie Bavage, Brad Young and Johnny Kenny. I don't think any of them are going to accept, but we'll have to see what happens. We're trying to rebuild the squad, which is still very small, and at the moment we still only have 18 players, including those two young boys. It's a very, very small squad, and we've got a lot of work to do here at Elgin. So that's it for an update, and I'll come back when there is some more news to give you. And we are back, and it is now the 22nd of June, and the players are about to return from their holidays. And in terms of transfers, it's been very quiet still, but we have managed to make two signings. We brought in Matthew Shields, who is a left back. He's just come in as a squad player, and hopefully he will just cover for Dick on the left hand side. We're desperately short of fullbacks. And then we brought in Ruman Burrell, who is a pressing forward. We've tried to get forwards in. We still are short of forwards, but we have managed to bring this boy in on loan, and he has good physical attributes, and he's fairly decent in other areas, and maybe he will do a good job as a pressing forward. He's quite aggressive for this level, and he's very brave, so maybe he'll do a decent job as a pressing forward. And so it has been fairly quiet in the transfer market, and one of the big problems is that the squad is still very small. And the really big problem is we don't have a goalkeeper, and we only have Pat Ross, who's a young 20-year-old. He looks fairly decent for his age, but I'm not quite sure he's ready to take on the responsibility of first choice goalkeeper here at Elgin, and we are having real problems signing a goalkeeper. And so the squad still is in disarray here at Elgin, but that may not come to anything, and that may not be an issue, as Livingston have requested now backroom staff changes that I would like to make. I have told them that I am not considering any at the moment, but when you get this email, the chances are they are going to offer you the job. So I will update you very, very shortly. And here it is, the contract offer from Livingston. It was obviously going to come following that email requesting staff changes, and looking through this, it looks like it's a fairly decent contract. They want us to finish next season, they want us to finish in mid-table in the Premiership and then qualify for the Europa Conference League. They have big ambitions. I was expecting them to say to avoid a relegation battle, because they just about avoided a relegation battle this season. And so they are a club with ambition. They have a transfer budget of 90,000 and a wage budget of 58,000. It's not that good, but my salary has gone up a lot and they're offering me 1.5. We'll see if we can negotiate that up a little bit, because I think I'm worth more than 1.5 thousand per week, let's be fair. And so I have a decision to make, but I'm going to leave that to you. Should I sign or shouldn't I sign? If we just have a quick look at Livingston, they are a Premiership club in Scotland. Last year they finished 10th out of 12 clubs, just about avoided the relegation battles. They have a fairly large squad, and in the transfer market I believe that they have been very active, and they have made a number of players, including Niall John from Crystal Palace, and he looks like a very decent player. And then they've brought in a boy from Arsenal, Jamie Sweet, who's 22 years old, can play in a number of positions. Again, he looks, without knowing him very well, he looks like he could be a tidy player. And then they brought in Coyote already. He is a forward, looks possibly like a pressing forward, or maybe a target forward to me, because he's 6'3". It's very strong. So yeah, they've made a couple of very nice signings. They've also brought in on loan from Nottingham Forest Monlouis, who is a central defender. He looks like a very good central defender too, good jumping reach. He's got great tackling. He's also good passer of the ball. He may be better playing as a ball-playing defender. So a lot of changes have gone on already, and they have been riding quite high. They finished in 3rd in 2023 before dropping to 8th and then finally to 10th. The manager, I believe, was actually well loved by the fans, and he chose to leave. He just wasn't sacked, he just chose to leave. But maybe he was anticipating being sacked with the decline in form. But I'm going to have a job with the fans, because he was well loved by the fans. And so in terms of their key players, Nicky Devlin is their captain, Will Boyle vice captain, and their key player is Stefan Omionga, who is a central midfield. Looks like he's got very decent attributes. So if we take this, it's going to be a tough job, I think, to finish mid-table, and it will be good to be in the Premiership, battling it out against the big boys. Let me know in the comments what you think, guys, and if you think it's a good move, I'll move. But if you think that I should stay at Elgin, then we'll stay at Elgin. I think, personally, it would be a good move for me. I'm beginning to stagnate a little bit at Elgin, and that's not a good thing. It's time to move on to bigger and better things with a club with more ambition. Time to move to Livingston. Let me know what you think, guys. And so, in 24 hours' time, I will make the decision, and life will move on. Whether that be at Livingston or whether it be at Elgin. Let me know in the comments, guys, what you think. And that's it for this video. If you are new to the channel and you like this kind of content, then why not subscribe, like, watch and comment, help the channel to grow, help us to support all that good stuff that you can see scrolling up above. And it has been quite an emotional summer so far, and we have a big decision to make. And I will certainly take on board what you guys think out there. But for now, all that remains to be said is stay safe, and we'll see you in the next episode.